What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Growth School, where we show you entrepreneurs and how they build their businesses. And today, we're here with our boy Merwan. Thank you for coming on to the show today.
Anytime. If I had known there was a dress code, I would have worn my beach por favor, the one it would have been more.
You're excused, dog. Relax.
My bad. Appreciate it. It means a lot.
All good. Let's get straight to business. You posted hundreds, probably thousands of videos before. What makes your content stick?
What makes it stick to people's minds, you mean, or why I keep doing it?
Why do people keep watching it?
The sad thing is that, it's not the reason why I started. It's because they're hot girls. And that kind of sucks. I'm just kidding. No, but really the whole idea was I grew up watching, I'm sure you've heard of Jama NYC, you've heard of Lao Shu, you've heard of all these guys that are like those the linguists that travel the world and kind of, show off their language skills when they're talking to people while they travel. And they're also showing the ability to merge and melange into any culture by speaking their language. I took that a step further because I was like, I like girls. Like, how can I use this to because I was like a shy, skinny, fat, you're what, 17?
17.
When I was your age, I didn't know what a girl was. I was just like, they're like me, but have hair. It's like, I had absolutely no riz, I had no social skills, none of that stuff. But what I did have was a strong linguistic repertoire. So I thought to myself, I love these guys who are able to, use languages to make people happy. Why not try doing that while equally using it to attract women? And I put both together, and it turns out I was the only person to this day who does that. That's what really makes it stick for people. It's like, wow, this guy can speak French, but he's also turning on this 10 out of 10 because she likes the French language. And so what is the whole idea behind why you're speaking on these languages? What's the attraction? What's the appeal? That's the appeal of time.
So let's now talk on the branding and business side. You're dominating that niche, like you said. How do you make sure, I guess for the people who are trying to start something, how do you locate a niche where there's no one else in? And how do you dominate it?
You got to look introspectively. You got to look at what you're good at instead of looking at what others are good at. Because what I did back then, it's like, obviously there's a bazillion interviewers. Most of them suck. Obviously there's a bunch of influencers. Most of them suck. What can you do that's better than anyone else? I always say this to people that want to start doing content. I go, look at yourself. You know you better than I know you. What are you good at? They go, I'm good at cooking this dish. Okay, well then find out a way to make that viral. You got to find what you're good at, and then you viralize it. How do you viralize it? You spam the hell out of content, and then you look at different niches. You look for what worked for that guy. For me, it was, I could have done I used to love watching Kirk Kaz, the guy that travels all the time. I used to watch, what's that guy on Man vs. Food? You ever remember that?
I've seen Man vs.
Yeah, Andrew Zimmern or whatever his name was. And the other guy, they travel,
They go around, try to,
that kind of stuff intrigued the hell out of me. So I'm like, how can I put those both together and be good at it? Oh, because I can speak more languages than anyone else. So that's my niche. You got to find out what your niche is, what you're good at in life, and then just put a camera on.
So what advice do you have for creators who are working in a saturated niche? Because from what you just described, no one else is doing exactly what you're doing. You're dominating your very hyper-specific niche. Like you said, interviewing is very, very saturated. Even the format we're doing this is very saturated on YouTube, and there's lots of other people that are doing interviews. So how do you differentiate yourself when you are in a saturated market?
I call it a wow. Am I allowed to swear on?
You can swear.
I call it a what the fuck factor. What makes people look at your video and go, holy shit, or like, what the fuck? Like, how is he able to do that? What makes you different? Right, so because you could look at, like you said, there's a bazillion interviewers. There's a bazillion guys trying to pick up girls. There's a bazillion pickup artists. I don't even call myself that. I hate that term. What do I do that makes you go, what the fuck? It's the fact that I can go to someone and go, where are you from? Oh, I'm Albanian. Oh, push into the And they go, what the fuck? They literally go, what the fuck? They're like, how can you do that? So you need to have a wow factor, something that no one else can do. And you can also, again, think respectively to yourself in real life. What am I able to do that's better than anybody else? What part of me is the most interesting part of me that I'm no longer shy to keep to myself and that I'm comfortable with putting on the internet? That's what you have to find in yourself.
Dude, how much do you think it's boosted your confidence?
180%. Like, dude, I was a shy kid growing up. Like, it was seriously, no girls, no riz. I was a cheerleader in college. That's how manly I was. I wear beach pleat shirts unironically. Because my legs crossed and the Arabs are like, why are you doing like this? Like, literally, bro. You have to realize that once you are comfortable with yourself and you have that one skill that you're really good at, it boosts your own confidence. And once your confidence is boosted, others are like, holy crap, that's radiating. Like, I can feel the confidence radiating on you onto me. So that's really what gave me the confidence to begin with.
So let's talk now about that one skill. And for all the linguist nerds that are out there, like you, like myself, trying to get into more languages, what is the Merwan Method and how do you learn more languages and get them all down?
Love you asked that. So it's for 100, I'm so kidding. No, but the real gist of it is phonetic learning. And so I give this analogy before, and it's when you were 1 or 2 years old, everyone has a maternal tongue. They have a mother tongue. They can say mama, dada, baba, whatever. They never learned that from a book. They never learned that from an app. They never learned that they can't read, they can't write. They heard it, so they can repeat it because we're like parrots. We can literally repeat sounds we hear and we can do it. Have you ever heard of a song like, do you speak Spanish?
Hablo español.
Do you speak French?
No.
Imagine you were listening to a song
bit.
and it's in French. I'm sure there's some French songs that you know.
I've heard some French.
And you can sing. You can recite the songs. You don't know what the hell you're saying. Or you don't know what the words mean, but you can sing it because you can repeat it. And if you can repeat it, you can speak it. If you can speak it, you speak the language. So we are trained as humans to believe. We have heuristics. We have, it's like a psychological term where it's like, I don't understand this, so I come up with a reasoning for why that makes sense. The reason why we can learn the language is because we can repeat it. We can make the sound, we can speak it. So if you're able to, at the end of the day, look at something, like I can't read Greek, I can't read Chinese, I can't read Russian. I literally cannot read those languages to save my life, but I could speak them fluently. Why? Because I'm able to repeat the sounds. And by repeating the sounds, I understand them, and I can associate this word means that. And this inflection or this tone will generate this response. And so being able to be intelligent enough and, pattern understanding enough to where you can see kind of the quid pro quo there, where it's like, okay, if I say that, they're going to say that. If I act this way, if I go like that. I mean, in certain languages, there are literally, things you can do with your head or your hands. If you go like that, you're angry. Or if you go like this in like Hindi, like they'll understand like, oh, that means yes, or that means no. Like there are certain things you can do that also speak a language without actually speaking the language. So it's all phonetic learning and understanding how it is by sitting with somebody, going to a country, understanding the culture, and kind of just operating by what you see.
I just don't want to cut you off there, but I was going to ask, are you a believer in someone, because I've heard this from a lot of people when they're learning languages, they listen to film, they listen to podcasts, they listen to books in that other language. Do you think that works or no?
I think it's all practice, right? It's all relative. It's all, are you able to pull something out of that and use it? I remember that when I was first learning Spanish, I would just recite songs I heard. And like I would I would look up the lyrics of what I was saying. So I would memorize the song. And then I would kind of, like the first one, I think it was called Tenemos que hablar by Bad Bunny, which means we need to speak. Like we need to talk. So I would just go to girls and be like, Tenemos que hablar. And they're like, ¿sobre qué? And I'm like, oh, that worked. Like they understood me. Like what the hell? Like, and I learned it from that language. So
Shout out Bad Bunny. See, he's always doing stuff for the community. We love Bad Bunny.
If you want to check our DMs, we're inviting you over here. We'll share for you right here. It's fun. But it works. It literally works. Like if you're able to recite the lyric and because it's still words, they're communicable and intelligible words, use it in real life. Why not? It's kind of a good like thought experiment you can do in real life.
And do you think that, how do you like maintain all these languages, right? You have so many of them stored in your brain, and you just said it's about the practice, it's about the repetition. Obviously, after you listen to the songs, travel to the country, immerse yourself in it, come back here, you're on the stage, you're talking to all these girls, but how often are you really practicing all these languages? Because I would imagine to keep that database accurate and to keep it, all that knowledge stored, you got to be working after it.
Yeah. It's so when people say like, yo, you're like a legend, bro, you spoke these languages. I'm like, I'm actually no different than anyone else. The only two things I have better than anyone else when it comes to language learning is my work ethic. I work every damn day to remember these languages, and I practice them all the time. And I'm always reading, kind of reading lyrics when I listen to new songs, or always listening to music in that language, or putting on subtitles in a language I'm trying to learn. Or what's the other thing I was going to say? It's also that I'm mildly autistic in that I have photographic memory. So when I grew up, the big reason why I did well in school, like I graduated top of my class in both levels of university I went to, is because I had a fantastic memory. So I don't forget a face, I don't forget a sound, I don't forget a name, I don't forget a sign I saw one time. I can literally remember, like in Thai, for example, when I was in Thailand, an inflection someone gave to me how to pronounce a certain word, like hiu hao. He literally went like that, and he pronounced it like hiu hao. So I say hiu hao whenever I say I'm hungry in Thai. Like I have that image in my head. So while it is a gift, you could say, of like my pretty good memory, it's also that every day I'm working to learn new ones, and I'm trying to make sure that I don't forget ones I already learned.
So let's talk about that work ethic. Well, first off, that's pretty cool, man. Photographic memory.
It's like Ross in Suits,
right? And there you go.
Like Ross in Suits.
You know the whole quote, right?
Yeah.
But on that note about your work ethic, right? How do you keep yourself after every single day? At some point, how do you not get tired? How do you keep yourself from saying, "Oh, today I can skip this," or "I don't need to practice my language," or "I don't need to focus on this"? How do you prevent yourself from falling into that trap? Because what happens a lot of time in any field is people they don't care for the consistency.
And well, that's kind of the eater of human progression, isn't it? It's the lack of consistency. It's being afraid of failing and being afraid of being complacent. Like I'm afraid of being complacent. I'm afraid of being left behind. I'm at the age where I kind of came to terms with, wow, I'm actually good at this. And I'm like in my late 20s. So like, where was this when I was your age? Like you were 17, 18. Like, I'm like, dude, I wish I started this when I was your age. So that fear kind of motivates me to do it, first of all. Second of all, it's kind of like, you have to find a fire. You have to find a fire inside of you to make you want to do it. You have to wake up and give yourself a why. But this is also like a confidence thing for humans. Like everyone has a why, but no one can act upon the why. And if you can act upon the why, you become a great. And it's a really easy formula, but a lot of people don't do it. And that's, I mean, as banal as I could be, like that's literally what it is.
Is your why for you don't want to fail, or is it that you want to succeed? Or
My why used to be I wanted to make my dad proud. Dude, I get emotional talking about my father. Like I love him. He was just here a couple of weeks ago, and he is a linguist himself. So he spoke a bunch of languages growing up. And so I remember the best experience I had and the best memory I could think of how this affected me was when I was like 9 or 10. We were in Tunisia, and we're at this hotel, and I didn't speak any German back then, but he did. And so there were a couple of girls that were playing at like this hotel that we're at, and I was like, Dad, they're like, I want to go play with them. And I walked up and I tried to speak them in my language. They didn't understand a word I was saying. They're kind of like, brown guy talking to me. And I go to my dad and I go, hey, I think they're German. Like, what do I say? He goes, oh, tell them spielen zusammen, which means like, oh, let's go play together. And I'm like, dude, if I get shot, I'm just saying, like, I don't know what you're telling me, but it's fine. So I go over to them and I say, spielen zusammen. Their face lit up. They were like, oh yeah, spielen. And then we like started playing with a ball, and I made friends, and I'm like, holy crap, dude, like this is a thing.
Languages are powerful.
Languages are freaking powerful, man. And me sitting back and being kind of like just watching my dad interact with all these different people and how excited they got when he was speaking their languages and how impressive it was. The people always have good things to say about him. They're like, wow, this guy's super charismatic. He knew every language, very intelligent. I'm like, I want to do that, but how do I do that better? So in my head, it was one, to impress him and really to kind of provide, I wanted to be like him, and I also wanted to be better than him, because you always want to be better than whatever. I'm a very competitive guy, even in blood. So that was the initial motivation. Now it's love for my country. I don't know if you heard of Tunisia. I'm sure you have. You're a smart guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it next to? Next to South Africa and Japan. No, it's next to Algeria and Libya and North Africa, and it is a very small country. But comparatively, it's a very important country, and we don't have much. We're not social media much. We don't have many famous people that come out of there. No one really knows. At the same way, you're like, I don't know where it is. Like, why not? Like, why don't people know where this is? And the love for my country, when I started posting my videos, all the comments that were popping up when it first went viral was, holy crap, he's Tunisian. Holy crap, we have a Tunisian celebrity. Like, we have someone that can
that resonates with us.
And like, we have a representative of our country. And I'm like, dude, like, now I have a real why. And like, I just have to serve my country. I mean, I'm American, but that's my culture. That's my background. That's what I'm proud of. I used to lie and say my name is Marco because I am half Italian. And I used to not be proud of that, but now it's like all I talk about. And it's very motivating, and it's the thing that keeps me driving every day.
So let's talk about now building a brand and taking it from 0 to 100. How do you build a brand and create a channel across multiple different platforms?
So I always say that you have to have a grounding basis. You have to, one, find your wow factor. And two, you have to have a grounding basis, as in a support group that will always support you no matter what. So for me, it was Tunisians. It was the fact that I could post anything, and they're going to support.
They're going to click.
They're going to click it. They're going to support me. They're going to comment Tunisia, heart, eyes, whatever. Like, they're going to do it. You need that, because that's how the algorithm works. The algorithm needs you to have initial support, and then past that, it'll push it to other people. I don't know if you know, like Instagram is like trial reels. Mm-hmm. So like you could specifically post a video that's going to go to people that are not
that don't follow you.
Right, but look at while it could still go viral, look at the amount of followers you gain from that. It's a lot less than if you post.
Oh my gosh, I was messing around with that the other day. They nerfed it. Just so you guys know, the method is still on TikTok. Go on TikTok. They didn't patch it yet.
Thank God, dude, because I've never told about that. That's something good. No, but
you take that out of the video.
Yeah, no, but it's a thing though. It's like you have to have your bases. You have to have your support group. With anything, I mean, when you're a politician running for office, you need to have that group that will vote for you no matter what. You have to say like, oh, I'm always going to have California.
And you got to show love out.
You got to show love out to them. You got to be consistent. But then past that, it's what separates you from the rest is how do you expand past that? How do you take your initial grounded fan base and expand past that? That past that 20% is what is really what makes you grow. Because you can't just go viral and make a living off of your 80% of following. They're going to follow you no matter what. How do you grow from that? And then it becomes focusing on the 20% while intelligibly still taking care of your 80%. That's what makes a creator a creator. A good one.
Let's not talk about creators. I think a lot of people have this perception that having X amount of followers will now equate to money, but it's not that. As you and I both know, it's not that simple.
Hell no.
Right? So how do you actually convert real viewers and people into making a business out of it? Because the business side is a little bit more complicated than just growing the platform. Now that you have the platform, how do you actually capitalize on it and start making money? Because people have this perception that, oh, ads. Come on, that's not where you make money. So how do you make a business?
I think it's a strong CTA. I think it's a why. And so because I like to say that a lot of people that are kind of using social media to grow their business there are two kinds of people. There are influencers and there's entertainers. Now, entertainers are people that post videos and they can't sell a product to save their life. Like you get a lot of people that are doing that. I know a lot of like these pickup artist guys that are online. They're trying to sell a course on how to pick up girls. I'm like, no one's gonna buy that from you, dude. Like, no one cares. Also, like, no one looks like you. Like, we all know attraction is confidence, how you look. That's literally what it is. So you can't sell a course on that. But if you're an influencer, you influence ideas. You influence how people react. You give people a why to buy, to buy from you. So you get the entertainers and then you get the influencers. How do you go from being, first you have to be an entertainer. You have to be an entertainer because you have to go viral. Once you go viral, you build your following. Once you build your following, you can then try to influence them with other ideas like CTAs. Do you want to be like me and look at these past 3 million, I got these 300 million views and I talked to these 3,000 people. Do you want to do something like that? Well, now that you see that I'm legit, because I have all these followers already, because I was an entertainer.
About your ethos.
Exactly. The ethos, pathos, and logos. Logos, bro.
That's the three.
You're taking me back, dude. I'm unk, so I and I was like, so good to learn all these. But then you can really sell a product. Yeah, the CTA is important once you have your basics.
So let's finish it off with this. What do you think most creators or people starting out get wrong when they're trying to grow on a platform?
A lot of reasons. I mean, it could be wrong audience. Oftentimes it's wrong audience. So for example, a lot of creators, what they'll do is they'll focus specifically on trying to make videos that are entertaining for everybody. Now you got to niche down first. You have to, all right, so for example, I'm a guy who's trying to sell a course on how to learn a language or how to talk to a girl in a foreign language. I'm already cutting off 50% of the world because that's girls that don't care about picking up girls in languages. That's 50% that we're putting to the side. Then past that, we have people that already speak a foreign language. Another 15% of the world, we got to put them aside as well. So you're going to focus it that you're going to hyper fixate on the people that you know are going to use your product. And then you double the fuck down on those people. It might even be 7%, might even be 8% of the people, but those are the ones that'll buy your stuff. So you have to focus and your CTAs have to be specifically for those people. That's kind of the formula because you're never going to post a video and it's going to appease everyone. Everyone's going to buy your stuff. It's impossible. So you have to really hyper fixate on who, and after trial and error, after doing an initial analysis, looking at your analytics, looking at the ones that are buying it, what are they typically asking for, doing Q&As. You have to find out what they really want and who really wants it, and then you focus on those people.
I mean, when you isolate your core audience and you just hyper target them, that's when you're going to.
It's going to come out, obviously, it'll be like a little olive oil that comes at the top, that extra brown with the extra virgin olive oil. I don't want the rest of that stuff. It is your reference, I don't think, but yeah, do like that.
All right, so I'm going to ask you the hardest question.
Oh gosh.
Where am I from? I was born here, but where am I from?
Your ethnicity. What's your last name?
Yishuf.
Do you speak your native language?
I do speak my native.
Can you speak it?
I'm speaking it right now.
English. Oh.
Told you, this complicates things, man.
Not Hong Kong. No. English. Is English the main language of that country?
Yes.
Is it Tibet, Bhutan?
No.
No?
I'll tell you this. I am ethnically Indian. That is an accurate statement. I'm ethnically
Indian. You grew up in America?
Yeah, but I'm ethnically Indian, but America's not the answer.
But the native language is English.
The native language is English, yes.
Is it an Asian country?
I'll give you a hint.
Oh, you're Singaporean.
No, I'm not.
Sorry, why?
I'll tell you this. When you're hanging out with your friends, you want to bust some curry, you're with the boys, you can have a little lime.
A little lime.
Lime. Oh, you don't know the dialect. Just trying to give you a little hint there.
Korean little lime. Holy crap, dude. And this is an Asian country that speaks...
No, not Asian.
Oh, no, it's not Asian.
No.
You're Guyanese?
Bro.
Yeah, you're
How?
Guyanese.
How'd you get that?
Well, because a lot of Indians immigrated to Guyana.
Correct.
I've been to Georgetown in Guyana. And you also very much look Guyanese. And you're living in Miami. Yeah, there you go. I would have guessed Guyana, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming onto the show. And if you guys like that episode, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe down below. Catch you guys in the next one.